Live from 7 Broadcast Plaza. This is Eyewitness News at 6.
Next on Eyewitness News at 6 tonight, an explosion destroys a Niagara County home, taking the life of a 14-year-old girl. Also, more than 50 cats discovered living in filth in a home meant to be an animal rescue. Plus, Niagara Falls City Council members siding against their mayor in the fight over Walenda money.
It's very upsetting for all the workers that are here. For the officers that were initially on scene, it's quite a horrific scene for them.
A house explosion kills a teenage girl, stunning emergency crews charged with rescuing the victims. Good evening again, everybody. I'm Joanna Passeri. Keith is off tonight. Topping Eyewitness News at 6. Rescuers sift through the debris of a home explosion in Wilson, discovering the body of a 14-year-old girl, Sarah Johnson. Tonight, her parents and 2 of her siblings are being treated with serious injuries. The explosion happening in a rural area in the town of Wilson around 6 this morning on Chestnut Road near Beebe Road. Investigators are still there tonight trying to piece together what happened. Channel 7's Ed Riley live in Wilson with our top story.
Well, Joanna, we're just finding out from investigators that apparently the family smelled propane in their home yesterday, although at this point it's not clear if they did anything to fix the problem. Now, this was a very powerful explosion, and we're going to show you some pictures. If you look over my shoulder, you can see how the force of the blast threw debris over a wide area. This explosion took the life of a young teenage girl and badly injured her family. Just after 6 a.m., 911 received several calls reporting a fire and explosion at a home at 4972 Chestnut Road in the town of Wilson. And even neighbors who lived up to 4 miles away felt the blast.
And this morning, just heard a big boom and the whole house shook, and it felt like an earthquake.
It was an extreme blast.
It shook our whole house. It knocked pictures off the wall.
When the Niagara County sheriffs arrived on scene, they found a completely destroyed 2-story house with walls knocked down, pieces of roofing blown across the yard, and 4 injured members of the Johnson family.
He located 4 family members in the front yard driveway area after the explosion.
Parents Jody and Judy Johnson, along with a daughter Catherine, were taken to ECMC in serious condition. A son, Nathan, was taken to Mount St. Mary's Hospital in Lewiston.
At that point, we were in a rescue mode.
Still inside the destroyed home was a young teenage girl, Sarah Johnson. Rescuers hoped to find her alive, but unfortunately recovered her lifeless body.
The volunteer firemen and law enforcement did a tremendous job searching through a large debris field, and they were able to find her in the rear of the residence.
The focus is now on finding out what caused this fatal blast. Investigators say the family used propane for their home, and they spent the day looking for clues.
Going through all the debris and checking on different appliances within the actual debris field and seeing what the cause might have been.
The death of Sarah Johnson and the tragedy to her family has left many people here in the town of Wilson shocked and heartbroken.
You know, when things like this happen, our community tends to pull together and support as much as we can and do as much as we can.
7 people lived inside this home, but 2 of the children were spending the night somewhere else. Now investigators have reopened Chestnut Road, but they plan to secure the site overnight so investigators can come back in the morning looking for a cause. Live in the town of Wilson, Ed Riley, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Ed, thank you. And here is a different perspective of just how damaging this explosion was. This picture shows the house as it stood less than 24 hours ago. This was on the real estate website, Fisbird.com. And this is that same piece of land now, the home destroyed by the unexplained blast. The surviving victims of the explosion, 2 adults and 2 children, all at Erie County Medical Center tonight, recovering from serious injuries. Now their neighbors are coming together to help the family. Channel 7's Kyla Igo live at ECMC tonight with more on this part of the story.
Well, Joanna, through complete devastation and heartbreak, the Wilson community and beyond is pulling together to help the Johnson family who lost everything in this tragic explosion. The massive Wilson home explosion on Chestnut Road could not only be felt for miles, but has sent shockwaves through the community with the death of Sarah Johnson, who was killed in the blast. Her parents, Jody and Judith Johnson, along with brother Nathan, remain in stable condition at ECMC with extensive injuries. And sister Catherine suffered severe burns and is listed in critical condition in the hospital's burn unit.
I do know that they seem like a very nice family with the kids outside all the time and the dad working, and you know, it affected a lot of people, believe it or not, even people that don't know them, because it's a tragedy and nobody likes to see anybody else in pain.
Now local churches, including the Ransomville Free Methodist Church, where the Johnson family attend Mass, is accepting clothing donations and other items to help the family. The Red Cross has also offered their assistance.
I need temporary housing, food, clothing. If part of the family is still hospitalized, but the children are still here, then we'll provide that similar assistance to whoever is taking care of the children in the meantime.
Now, a vigil has also been organized for tonight, scheduled at 7:30 at the Wilson High School. We're live at the Erie County Medical Center. Kyla Igo, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
2 local churches are now accepting donations for the Johnson family to help them recover from this tragedy. They are the First Baptist Church of Wilson on Chestnut Street in Wilson and the Ransomville Free Methodist Church on Ransomville Road in Ransomville. For details on how and what to donate, you can always go to our website, WKBW.com, or you can call the churches. The telephone numbers here on your screen, 751-6988, or you can call 791-3855. It is now up to investigators to try and piece together from the debris what happened to cause such an enormous explosion at this house on Chestnut Road. As of right now, fire investigators aren't sure. Channel 7's John Borsa continues our team coverage tonight. He is live at the scene. John.
Well, Joanna, they are focusing on the propane tank, which was just outside the home used to heat it. As Ed Riley reported just moments ago, the undersheriff told us late this afternoon that the family smelled propane yesterday. What action they took, if any, is still unclear at this point. But take a look behind me here at the scene, the debris field covering the area of roughly 4 football fields. And volunteer firefighters and sheriff's investigators are now cordoned off that area surrounding the propane tank. The rest of the property has been open. There's been access to volunteers. The father of this family, Jody Johnson, he actually worked for a heating and cooling company. His boss was here and many of his co-workers, and they have spent the day going through the rubble and the debris looking for family mementos, especially those which belonged to young Sarah, who died in this blast. A blast that was so powerful, the impact was heard at least 4 miles away, rattling homes. Some people thought their own roofs were caving in.
That, you know, thoughts and prayers are definitely on the whole entire family, and that the whole entire community is coming together as one to help them out.
And this morning just heard a big boom and the whole house shook and it felt like an earthquake. And my wife came out of her room and said, "Do you feel like?" Well, yeah. And they're doing construction down the road, so I thought it was a big truck went by, but then I seen on the news that the house exploded.
Right after the explosion had happened, it was really silent. I mean, you didn't even hear animals or anything. It was very silent. And, you know, and then after a minute or two had passed, there was, you know, a lot of people yelling and screaming and running around, and everybody was calling for Sarah, and pretty dramatic scene.
It took volunteer firefighters and sheriff's deputies along with state troopers more than 2.5 hours to find Sarah's body. We are learning more tonight about the Johnson family, described as religious, a loving and caring family. They opened their home to an exchange student from Columbia for the past year. And all the students, including young Sarah, who died, very good at sports. In fact, Sarah just won a 5K race, running a record time for the 2nd year in a row. There's a prayer vigil scheduled for the family tonight at 7:30 at the Wilson High School football field, and we'll have more on that coming up tonight at 11. Joanna, back to you.
John, thank you. For continuing coverage of the house explosion in Wilson, stay with Eyewitness News and WKBW.com.